going on, folks? Welcome again to another episode of Reflecting Him, where we here at Blueprints for Living Ministries believe that our greatest duty and our highest honor is to reflect God's image outside of Eden. Somebody asked me a while back, Ruben, what does outside of Eden mean? Well, think about the Garden of Eden. Think about Adam and Eve when they were in perfection, they were in paradise, and they sinned, messed up, and got kicked out. Anything after the fall is outside of Eden. So reflecting God's image outside of Eden is you reflecting God right now, at work, at home, at church, at Target, at HEB, wherever you're at, reflecting Him after the fall, reflecting Him in your current situation. So, having said that, it's Sunday, it's a brand new week. I'm going to do a quick little episode because there's something heavy on my heart that I really want to talk to you guys about. And it's about this idea, this notion that if I'm good enough to the people who are abusing me, they'll change. Ooh. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about toxic relationships, not politics. Let's not talk about the Bible. We can do all that, right? There's plenty of episodes and plenty of airtime for that. But I really want to address this idea that if I'm good enough to the person who's abusing me, they'll stop abusing me. If my goodness shines enough, they'll change. Listen, newsflash. You can't change anybody. You can barely change yourself, right? I have enough trouble with my sins, with my toxicity, with my dysfunction. I have enough trouble trying to get myself together. How can I expect reasonably to fix the person who's hurting me by continuing to be good to them? If they disrespect me, let me just keep on loving them. If they're abusing me, let me keep on just turning the other cheek, right? That's not how this works. Your goodness can't remove the badness in somebody else. Boundary violations are destined to occur in toxic relationships where one person, right? Here's the good one, the bad one. This bad one has no sense of boundaries. This bad one has no sense of just civility and respect, and just trampling all over this other one right here. If this good one doesn't stand up and do the right thing for themselves and address the behavior and draw a line, erect some boundaries, enforce them. If this person doesn't do that, then two things are going to happen to this person. Number one, they're going to be rewarded. The behavior is not checked, therefore it's rewarded. And when behavior is rewarded, it's encouraged, whether it's good or bad. For example, if I do something good here at the house and Penny gives me a compliment, Penny takes me out to eat, whatever, she rewards me for something good that I do, I'm going to do it again. If I do something bad and she doesn't check it, she's also rewarding it, and I'm going to do it again. That's just human nature. In psychological terms, this is negative and positive reinforcement. So if you are in a toxic relationship, if you are in an abusive relationship where someone in your life is violating boundaries or being abusive verbally, emotionally, hopefully not physically and sexually, but you're experiencing some abuse, if this is you, you cannot hope reasonably to believe that your goodness, your patience, your forbearance, your long suffering is going to change them. It's not going to happen, because the more you stick around, so to speak, you reward it, you encourage it, you enable it, and it's going to get worse. So this topic applies for male and female, no matter what age group you're in, skin color, it doesn't matter. You have to get away from people who are harmful to you. Now, there's this notion that can be argued if we read 1 Peter chapter 3, where Peter says that the wives win the men over without even saying a word, just being good. There it is, Mr. Ruben Constante. The woman stuck around the abusive man, and by her long suffering and her being good, she changed him. No, that's not what that means. Nowhere in the scriptures where you find abuse being appropriately acceptable. Like it's not there. You can't twist the Bible to make it fit what you want it to say just because, for example, in this situation, you don't want to leave that person. Listen, we can list a number of things on why people remain in bad relationships. They're afraid to leave. That's all they know. The battered wife syndrome. You know, they're distorted. Their perception of right and wrong is just jacked up. Like there's a lot of things we can say. But for this quick episode, for this moment, right now, I need to tell you, your goodness is not going to save the relationship. Your morality isn't going to change them. All you're doing is rewarding them. All you're doing is encouraging them. So I want to encourage you. If you find yourself in a situation, if you find yourself in a relationship where your boundaries are being violated, you have to say something. You have to do something. Stand up. Seek help. Do anything. But you can't remain. Look, imagine you being in a mud pile. And you know you're in the mud pile. You know you're dirty. It's just nasty. If you want to be clean, you can reach out to me and to somebody, hey, can you give me a towel? Can you give me some detergent? Can you give me some soap? Can you give me, shampoo? Can you give me some cleaning agent so I can clean myself off? And so someone is reasonable. Okay, you want to get clean? Go for it. They throw you some shampoo and some soap and a scrubby and some cloth, and there you go. Ahí vas, te andas tallando y tallando. You're just scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing and trying to clean yourself, but you're still in a mud pile. That's the same thing as someone who's in a toxic relationship and they're trying to go to counseling and read books and go to church and do all kind of things, but not leaving the situation. It's the same thing. You got to be careful though. I'm not advocating for divorce. I'm not advocating for immediate separation. I'm not advocating for immediate no. Just calm down. Don't twist my words. What I'm trying to promote, what I'm trying to encourage you to do is if you want to get cleaned up, if you want to be safe, you have to remove yourself from situations and relationships that are tainting you, holding you down, and hurting you. And if we're talking about relationships, if someone is abusing you and there's boundary violations galore, you can't expect to change that person or hope that the person changes by just sticking around. It doesn't work that way. Many times I've seen men and women remain in a relationship thinking that if I just hold on long enough, if I just love them some more, they'll change. And it doesn't happen. The person needs, the bad person, right? The person who's toxic, the person who's abusive, they need to come to terms with themselves. They need to find help for themselves. And 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be from you. It's like you got a parasite and you got a host. You got the tick and you got the dog. You got the flea and the dog. Like this parasite is going to latch on and suck the life out of this, and this dog, this host can't do anything about it, right? Because there's this parasite. This dog can't hope that the parasite's going to change. It's in the parasite's nature to suck the life out of the host. The dog or the owner of the dog needs to apply something to that so that these fleas, these ticks go away. In similar fashion, if you're the host and you've got someone who's parasitically connected to you, sucking the life out of you, you need to extract, you need to remove yourself from the situation, find some help, and stop thinking that your goodness and your morality, your forbearance, your patience, your long suffering, all these Christian virtues, you need to stop thinking that those things are going to save that person. It's not going to happen because the person is being rewarded for mistreating you, and with the reward comes the encouragement of the behavior. Man, I'm going to keep on doing it because I'm getting away with it. I'm going to keep on doing it because ain't no one saying nothing. That's criminal thinking. Whether you're an inmate or not, that's criminal thinking. To believe that you can continue to do something because no one's saying anything about it. That's bad. And on the other end of that equation is the victim, the person who's remaining in the relationship. They're not going anywhere. And they, matter of fact, they keep taking the person back because they're under the false pretense. They're under the erroneous thought that if they're just good enough, they just love them some more, they'll change them. It's not how it works, folks. Male or female, it's not how it works. So, if this is you, if you find yourself in a relationship and you think that if you're good enough, you'll change them, I got news for you. You're not. In fact, the only thing that's probably going to change is you becoming, and they're going to get, that's the only change that's going to happen. So stop it. Don't do it. Get away from it. Seek some help. Find the courage within yourself to believe that you're better than that, that you're worth more. Don't. And if you got low self-esteem, then we can deal with that. You can talk about we can talk about that. But if you're watching this video, if you're watching this clip, then understand that your toxic connection, because in a large sense, it's toxic. Your connection to that person is toxic, which brings this up. Why do you remain connected to that person? If you know they're bad, why do you keep going back? Not just because you think that if you're good enough you can help them, but you need to examine yourself. What is it about you? What do you have inside of you that continues to remain attracted to that? Like flies don't swarm around a bed of roses, right? Flies swarm around a pile of poop, cow manure. Here's the point. You are going to be attracted to that which is inside of you, and vice versa. You're going to attract things unto yourself that you have inside of you. It's a reciprocal thing. They go in tandem. They work together. I don't like chocolate covered pencils, therefore I'm not going to go looking for them. I don't like sushi. I don't like China. So there's a certain thing I don't like. I'm not going to go looking for it. I'm not going to be attracted to it. So if you find yourself attracted to a toxic person, if you find yourself drawn to people who keep abusing you, yeah, they're wrong for doing that. And yeah, you're wrong for continuing to allow it to happen, thinking your goodness is going to save them. But you're also misinformed. You also might want to reconsider, as a matter of fact, an examination of what you got going on inside of you. Because if I keep finding myself attracted to bad women, it's my taste. No one's making me go over there. I'm going over there. So I need to look at me. So look at yourself. Why? It's not only your goodness that you think is going to save them, but it's also something inside of you, and that is the hard work. That is where the rubber meets the road, where you take a hard look, ask the hard questions about yourself and your heart, your intentions, your motives, your desires. And it's especially true for women. Women, in this context, are attracted to abusive men for a number of reasons, and toxic for a number of reasons, because, not because they're abusive themselves, but because there's something inside of them that they identify with, and they go for it. And that's food for thought. Think about that. So again, male or female, if you're in a relationship and they're hurting you, and you think that you can save them by being good, don't do it. Don't do it. In fact, I just want to close out by saying that if your goodness this far hasn't resulted in good behavior on their part, in fact, they've been getting worse and they've been doing this and they've been going and going and going. Nothing's happening. Why do you think all of a sudden, magically, they're going to change? It ain't happening. So get some help. Call a pastor, call a counselor, get a friend, look out. Heck, reach out to me. You can find me in the comments. You can comment on this video. Reach out to someone that can help you, because you can't reasonably expect to save someone and change someone because you are good, because you are patient and long bearing and forbearing and long suffering. Like, you can't do it. And examine yourself. Figure out why you keep finding yourself attracted to dysfunctional and toxic people. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.